We have pricing and packaging and updates for the 2025 Mazda CX-30. I have one for review this week, not a 25, but a 24. So today I'm going to go over the changes from 24 to 2025 and also reflect on how Mazda is doing currently in today's market. Guys, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss my review on the 2024 Mazda CX-30. And for 2024, we did get updates, and we'll see those carry over for 2025. But those big updates were a new carbon turbo model, a new 10.25-inch touchscreen display that had Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless capability. Therefore, you could have also touchscreen capability with your phone connected to your new 10-inch screen. Also, we had increased pricing. Also, if I haven't mentioned, hit that like button for Mazda. They're doing great, and we'll go over the sales here once we recap the 2025. We now have a built-in Alexa offering easier hands-free commands. We have a new color, Aero Gray Metallic, which was introduced on the MX-5, and it's now available on the CX-30. And the CX-30 has a starting MSRP of $24,995. I made a spreadsheet comparing the prices from this year compared to last year. We know inflation has increased everything. Everything's getting more expensive. But Mazda has doubled down on trying to keeping the pricing as low as possible. So we have the base trim. We see a 0% or $0 increase from 24 to 25. Now, an asterisk there is it has gone up $45 because of the destination processing, handling, whatever you want to call it, this unavoidable fee that is placed on every single car's MSRP. So this is base MSRP. You always have to add the destination on top of that. So the car's only gotten on the base trim $45 more expensive, and the rest of the trims only went up $150. This is kind of in line with what we saw with the CX-5 pricing. The CX-5 pricing, it went up a little bit more actually per trim level, but they reintroduced a base trim level, which made the barrier of entry for the CX-5 a little bit more attainable. So Alexa built-in, which is new for 2025, allows the driver to make hands-free voice commands like changing the temperature, playing your favorite streaming content, or controlling smart home devices while in the vehicle. I've never used Alexa other than for training purposes inside of cars. Let me know if you guys use Alexa inside of your vehicle. Meanwhile, the Mazda Online Navigation offers expanded mapping data with live traffic and the ability to do over-the-air updates for the maps when connected to Mazda Connected Services. That's going to cost you because Mazda Connected Services, I believe, is only about a year of trial period. And that includes remote start. And I know this has been an article floating around on the internet this past week or so. Remote start is only through the app now. You can't do it on a key fob or anything, and it is a trial period. If you want to pay for Mazda Connected Services after a year is over, it's $10 a month. No one wants to do that. So I know a lot of people are unhappy about that, but that's just unfortunately the way these automakers are trying to make an extra buck on us. The powertrains, still best in class. In my opinion. No, it doesn't have a hybrid yet. You know, I'm wishing for one. I would love for this vehicle to get the Corolla, the Corolla Cross's 2-liter hybrid with 196 horsepower. That'd be absolutely perfect for this, and I would pick this every single time over the Corolla Cross if it had that hybrid powertrain, which gets you 40 miles per gallon. Mazda's powertrains, they're fun to drive. They're very enthusiast focused, and they're definitely overpowered for the class, but their fuel economy is less than optimal. Now, they do give you all-wheel drive standard, which I think a lot of people appreciate, but 191 horsepower for the base powertrain, up to 250 horsepower if you put premium fuel in the turbo models. I'll put this link in the description below if you guys want to read into it. If you guys have to have the bigger screen, you can only get them on the turbo models, to my understanding. And again, the turbo models start at $32,900. Well, a little bit more once you add in destination, right? About $35,000 is what they start out, and top out maybe about $38,000, something like that for the Turbo Premium Plus. That's the model, of course, I'm driving this week, as pretty much every tester vehicle from these car companies, every press vehicle, it's fully loaded. Actually, I would probably recommend all of them. I don't feel like the turbo is necessary in this vehicle because the base powertrain already outpowers pretty much everything else in its class. And the 6-speed auto is fantastic and all-wheel drive is standard. So getting that base powertrain on something like these trim levels, I think is going to be more than adequate. Staying underneath $30,000, better yet, staying around $25,000 would be the sweet spot for the CX-30. I feel like you'd be getting an absolute steal on this vehicle if you're getting it for under $30,000. But let me know which trim level you guys would be picking. Again, I'm not going to go over all the differences between the trim levels. This video would be about 40 minutes long. But let's look back on July for Mazda. It was a record-breaking month. Best July, I think, of all time. They had a 30% increase in sales volume this July compared to last July. Overall, in the year, they're up 13% when accounting for all 7 months. CX-50 had their best sales ever in the month of July. CX-90 had its best sales ever. And the CX-30, which we're talking about today, had 8,600 sales in July, making it the best ever month for the CX-30. If you look down below, even the Mazda 3 is racking up some double-digit sales this year. Poor MX-5 is down on sales, but it's still one of my favorite vehicles of all time. CX-30 up 30% on the year, 20% on the month. CX-5's down on the year, but they're changing it around, and we should get a redesign on the CX-5 within the next year or so. CX-50, check this out. It's up 66% on the year, up 90% on the month. It is guns blazing now, and they're bringing that hybrid in from Toyota's RAV4 into the CX-50 by the end of this year. CX-90, well, it wasn't on sale entirely last year, but it's up 224% for the year, up 82% for the month. That includes the plug-in hybrid as well. So Mazda just shooting above everyone else in the market right now. No one's able to keep up with them, at least in the month of July. The sky's the limit for them as they have revamped their dealerships across the country. They have a fresh lineup of large crossovers, the CX-70 and the CX-90 with inline sixes, plug-in hybrid 4-cylinders on those, fun to drive 3-row or fun to drive large SUVs is what they are. And then you have fun to drive mid-size crossovers from the CX-5 to the CX-30 and the CX-50. And then you have the fun to drive Mazda 3. But here's the thing, stay tuned for my driving impressions of the CX-30 because I have just driven already before the CX-30, the Mazda 3 hatchback and sedan earlier this year. So those are fresh in the memory. And I'm able to paint a better picture of just how good the CX-30 is compared to its platform mates, the Mazda 3 hatchback and sedan. But I'll catch you guys in the comments below. I'm applauding Mazda here for keeping the prices pretty neutral compared to last year on their entry-level crossover, standard with all-wheel drive, standard with really strong powertrains. It's just a really good vehicle. It's not perfect, but it's still right at the top of its class, I would say. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.